Did you ever have a moment where you come up with an epiphany? Well, I came up with an epiphany. Why do I buy so many blankets on Amazon? Why? Well, as you know, I do a lot of videos exposing Amazon for all their lies when they sell weighted blankets. I just started getting into the weighted blanket racket. And if anyone out there doesn't know, if you need a 15-pound weighted blanket for health purposes, yes, these blankets are for health purposes. Anxiety, what is that? ADHD, not AIDS. Let's see, panic disorder, autism, restless leg syndrome, fibromyalgia, chronic pain, and mental illness. Yeah, mental illness. I had that, unfortunately. But yeah, I keep buying these blankets. Now, I ended up keeping some of them, even though they ended up with my Amazon expose being incorrectly weighted. But I came up with an epiphany. Why all of a sudden I'm obsessed with blankets? And well, maybe I have OCD also. Maybe they didn't diagnose me correctly, and I have that too. But yeah, well, these are some of them, the ones that are in my collection that's growing. By the way, I ended up, it's been blanket number 11. I recently returned to Amazon because it's not the weight. But I was explaining to you, these are health blankets. And if you need a 15-pound blanket, it goes by your body weight percentage. Why is Amazon giving you a 10 to 12 to 13-pound blanket? When you order a 20-pound blanket from Amazon, why are they giving you only a 17-pound blanket or a 16-pound blanket? Well, that's my expose. I'm cracking the case wide open. I did many videos showing and proving that Amazon is not selling the correct weighted blankets. But the epiphany. Here's the epiphany. What do blankets symbolize? Think about it. Let's analyze. Let's do Sigmund Freud. I call him Fraud. Sigmund Freud. Let's do a Sigmund Freud analyzation. What do blankets symbolize? Security. My mother just died, right? She was the one that always kept me safe and secure. Well, there you go. And here's another topper for the reason why that I have an epiphany. See this top blanket here? Before my mother died, I brought this. It was brand new that I never used. I had it for a couple of years in the package. I brought this really soft, fuzzy blanket to her because she said she was always cold in her hospital bed. And I covered her. Usually she was the one that did the covering. She was the mother. And I covered her with this blanket. And she was smiling from ear to ear. And after she died, I snooped through her cell phone. And the last pictures she took were of this blanket. She took 6 pictures of this blanket while she was laying in her hospital bed. And she couldn't get up anymore. And those were the last photos in her gallery in her iPhone. And all of a sudden, then I noticed I'm buying all these blankets, all these weighted blankets. And I keep getting more and more and more and more. And I think the grief has turned me mentally insane. I think I'm actually going insane. As a matter of fact, I just did a video the other day weighing another weighted blanket on Amazon. And it turns out, of course, it was not 15 pounds. I'm getting 3 more. I ordered 3 more. I really think I need an intervention. Well, we're going to weigh those when they come. And most likely, out of the 3, I'd say 3 of them are not going to be weighted properly. But so now do you understand the blanket symbology for me? My mother's last thing, I only got to see her once in the hospital because of COVID. They wouldn't allow me to visit. She could only get 1 visitor per day for 1 hour. Of course, everybody wanted to see her. Thank God I'm an only child. Imagine if I had brothers or sisters, I would have probably never saw her before she passed. I only got to see her once. And then, of course, her brother wanted to see her, my kids, the whole family. And the only memory I have of her was her vomiting into a bin because she was so sick, and me covering her with this blanket. By the way, I never washed. When she died, they handed it over to me. And the last photos in her phone were of this blanket. So now I have a feeling that the grief is causing me to look for some kind of comfort. That blankets actually blankets actually offer you comfort, security. Yeah, I just figured out what's going on. So now you know why I do all these videos about blankets. There's something going on with my grief. And when you're grieving, you don't do normal things, I noticed. You actually lose your mind. Your mind actually, any kind of normalcy goes out the window. All right, guys. Well, guess what? More blankets are coming today from Amazon, and I will be back later with the scale, and we'll weigh them. I'm obsessed with blankets. All right, bye. So long. Arrivederci to you.